What's up everyone and welcome back to the Liver Live. Today let's get started with Klopp set to start 27-year-old Liverpool man against Everton. Greek journalist Giannis Kourianopoulos' latest update on X this afternoon heavily suggests that Kostas Tsimikas will be thrust into the limelight on Saturday. The reporter shared that the 27-year-old fullback is mentally ready to start at left-back in place of the injured Andy Robertson in the Merseyside derby. The reporter tweeted, "Tsimikas is mentally ready to start for Liverpool v Everton. With Greece national team versus Ireland and especially Netherlands made two of his best this season apps, fans will rightly be keeping their fingers crossed for a quick recovery on the Scots end, with the fear of a 10-week, at least, spell on the sidelines looming should the 29-year-old's shoulder require surgical intervention. Despite that worrying potential factor, it has to be remembered that Tsimikas is still a more than viable alternative for the foreseeable future." Liverpool have the quickest players in the Premier League. Liverpool have one of the fastest players in the Premier League in midfielder Dominik Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai has been praised for the way he's instantly lit up the Reds since arriving in the summer. But so far that praise has largely focused on his shooting ability, overall quality and athleticism. But according to TalkSport pundit Gabi Agbanleha, there's another part of the Hungarian's game that deserves attention, too. Asked to rate Szoboszlai's start to the season, the former England striker chose to focus on an underrated part of the 22-year-old's game. "I'm giving him an A. I love what he does in that midfield," Agbanleha raved. "He wants to get on the ball, he's quicker than what people think as well. He's shown that this season, one of the quickest players in the Premier League. We're not sure we'd go quite that far, but for a pretty big man, Dom can certainly move." Liverpool join the race with Chelsea for Victor Osimhen. According to a report from the Daily Mail, Liverpool will join Chelsea in the race to sign Victor Osimhen from Napoli in the January transfer window. With the Nigerian striker subject to mistreatment from his own club, it's becoming more and more obvious that he'll get a big move away in January, after failing to do so in the summer transfer window. Arsenal are also thought to be interested in Osimhen, but given their pursuit of Ivan Toney or Ollie Watkins, these seem to be more feasible options. But don't rule the Gunners out. Osimhen is valued at around £95 million and it's not difficult to see why. Following his impressive turnover of goals in the last title-winning season for Napoli, he's had a similar start to this season. In 8 appearances for Napoli, he has netted 6 goals. This isn't a bad return for a player who is surely seeking a move away. Mohamed Salah calls for end to massacres, aid to be allowed into Gaza. Liverpool and Egypt football star Mohamed Salah called for humanitarian aid to be allowed into Gaza on Wednesday as he pleaded for an end to massacres in the conflict between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas. Gazans have been facing dire shortages as the territory was effectively sealed off in the wake of the October 7th attacks by Hamas militants on Israeli communities and military posts that claimed 1,400 lives. On Tuesday, a deadly rocket strike hit a Gaza hospital that Hamas blamed on Israel. However, Israel denied responsibility, claiming the strike was caused by an errant rocket fired by Palestinian militants. It is not always easy to speak in a time like this. There has been too much violence and too much heartbreak and brutality, Salah said in a video posted to his 62.7 million followers on Instagram. "The escalations in recent weeks is unbearable to witness. All lives are sacred and must be protected. The massacres need to stop. Families are being torn apart. What is clear now is that humanitarian aid to Gaza must be allowed immediately. The people there are in terrible conditions," Salah added. David Ornstein reports Liverpool is not for sale. According to David Ornstein, one of the most reputable Premier League reporters, claims reports from credible journalists suggesting the Reds could be sold to Qatari sports investment are not accurate. Ornstein, speaking on Rio Ferdinand Presents 5, told Joel Bayer, "People have said he should pivot to Liverpool to rub salt in the wounds of Manchester United fans, but I have no knowledge of them going anywhere else, and there are reports from credible journalists, and these will be briefings from Sheikh Jassim's camp, that they are not focusing on another club at this point in time. Of course that can change. Liverpool are no longer up for sale, despite FSG previously being willing to listen to offers." Speaking to the Boston Sports Journal, via The Independent, in February 2023, principal Liverpool owner John W. Henry ruled out an outright sale, stating, "Will we be in England forever? No. Are we selling LFC? No." Peter Crouch makes Premier League title prediction. Peter Crouch believes Liverpool are definitely in with a shout to win the Premier League this season, but believes Manchester City may have too much for both the Reds and Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. City have won 5 of the last 6 league titles, pipping Liverpool to the title by a single point on 2 separate occasions, with the Anfield outfit winning the other during the 2019-20 campaign. Spurs currently lead the way this term after 8 games, but ex-Red Crouch doesn't believe the North London outfit will be involved in the title race come May. I think they, Liverpool, are definitely in with a shout. I think it's them and Arsenal chasing City, Crouch told TNT Sports, via Rousing the Cop. If you had to hang your hat on it or you had to have a bet on it for your life, then you'd say City win the league. But I think Liverpool can be the best of the rest and push them all the way. The Liverpool players injured or suspended for the Merseyside derby. Anfield will host a Merseyside derby for the second successive weekend when Liverpool host Everton on Saturday. With the Premier League edition following on from last Sunday's WSL clash, Liverpool are expected to be missing as many as 6 players from their squad through injury and suspension, some more important than others. Although Diogo Jota is at least able to return after he served his 1-game suspension in the Brighton-Hove Albion draw before the international break, Curtis Jones was shown a straight red card in the controversial defeat to Tottenham last month and is serving a 3-game suspension as a result of that. Left-back Andrew Robertson dislocated his shoulder while in action for Scotland against Spain last week, colliding with opposing goalkeeper Unai Simon, who then fell on top of him. Robertson has been pictured still in a sling this week, ruling him out of the derby, but Liverpool are also reported to be awaiting the results of further scans that will determine whether he also needs surgery. Recovery from going under the knife would rule the player out for a lengthy period. Thiago rejected the summer advances of the Saudi Pro League but hasn't played for Liverpool at all so far this season because of the hip problem that has been plaguing him since February. The veteran Spaniard has suffered setbacks during his rehab too that have only delayed his return to the pitch. But early November is still slated for his potential comeback. It is not clear when Stefan Bajcetic will be back for Liverpool, but he hasn't featured very much this season and hasn't been in a Premier League matchday squad since mid-September. Callum Kelleher wasn't on the bench against either Brighton or Union St Gilloise in the last 2 games before the international break because of a knee problem, meaning that Adrian was at least temporarily re-promoted to the understudy goalkeeper role. Of all those who have been sidelined, Cody Gakpo has the greatest chance of making it into the squad to face Everton. The Dutchman has been nursing a knee injury since coming off at halftime against Tottenham, although Klopp said at the start of October there was a good chance that Gakpo would be back on the pitch after this month's international break. He may need some extra time to build his fitness, but Gakpo was back in training on Thursday. Ben Doak has only played 13 minutes of Premier League football on the opening day of the season, but represents another forward option if Gakpo isn't fit. The teenage Scot, signed from Celtic in the summer of 2022, is carrying a knock but stands a good chance of being fit enough to participate, should Klopp find room on his 9-player bench. And that's the end of this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications to support me.